Trump and Meloni's alliance is falling apart. The connection between Europe's far-right leader and the former US president has officially broken. For months, observers tracked how Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni and Donald Trump began building a nationalist alliance, signaling a shift in Western politics and traditional diplomatic relations. They bonded over nationalist rhetoric and a mutual distrust of global organizations like the UN, finding common ground in their shared skepticism toward international institutions. Analysts thought Meloni could bridge gaps, acting as a key European ally to influence Trump's populist movement and shape transatlantic policy. This shift is also reflected in NATO's command structure, as the alliance announced that 2 joint force commands will transition from US to European leadership in the coming years. The move aims to more fairly share responsibility within the alliance. Their once close partnership ended abruptly, making the future of US-Italy relations unpredictable. This sudden shift leaves diplomatic ties between the two nations in a state of deep uncertainty. The collapse started through a fundamental clash of values and a bitter, escalating dispute over who held the highest authority in Rome, the papacy. Things snapped when Donald Trump launched a huge social media attack against Pope Leo XIV. A controversial post showing the US president as an AI-generated Jesus sparked the intense controversy, effectively insulting the Italian leadership's deeply held religious values. The religious insult ignited tensions, but the real driver was the growing Iran conflict. Tensions spiked significantly after the Pope condemned the US-Israeli military campaign against Iran. In a bold diplomatic move, Pope Leo XIV openly criticized the ongoing conflict and its escalating violence. The Pope said a few tyrants are ravaging the world, expressing deep concern over global instability. Trump fired back, calling the Pope weak and criticizing the Vatican directly in a sharp public rebuke. Meloni rushed to the defense of the pontiff after Trump unleashed a social media tirade against Pope Leo XIV, calling him weak, dead, shass. She called Trump's attacks on the Pope unacceptable. Trump attacked Meloni personally, breaking their previously established diplomatic rapport. During a recent phone interview with Corriere della Sera, Trump turned directly on her, launching a sudden verbal assault. He said he hadn't spoken to her in a long time. He told reporters he felt disappointed, saying, "I thought she was brave. But I was even more shocked by her." He explicitly accused her of lacking the courage necessary to stand with the US-led coalition in the war against Iran. The president's rhetoric became even more aggressive as the interview progressed. When confronted with Meloni's unacceptable label, Trump snapped back, saying, "She is the one who is unacceptable." He issued a blunt warning about her policy, arguing her refusal to support the war. She claims Iran doesn't care if Iran has a nuclear weapon, and that such a device would blow up Italy in 2 minutes if it had the chance. This wasn't just diplomacy, it felt like a personal strike against her leadership. The dispute escalated into concrete policy changes when Rome moved to suspend the automatic renewal of its defense cooperation agreement with Israel, citing the ongoing conflicts in the Middle East. This move increased tensions between Rome and the Trump administration, as Trump openly criticized the shifting dynamics of their current alliance, expressing deep dissatisfaction with the changing diplomatic relationship. He told Fox News that anyone who rejected us must now help with Iran. "We do not have the same relationship." Trump told TV viewers his bond with Italy changed following a recent papal snub. "Our connection has changed significantly, reflecting a shifting landscape in international relations. This isn't just a private spat between leaders, it is a massive, deeply destabilizing transatlantic crisis." This rift between the US and Italy risks breaking the Western security framework. This relationship is breaking down, undoing what many thought would shape international politics for the next decade. How does this change global politics? Diplomacy is fracturing into smaller, competing blocs. Meloni likely uses this strategic split to win more votes at home. Following a decisive referendum defeat last month, avoiding Trump's Iran war strategy might reduce the domestic anger she faces from high gas prices and the public's dislike of the conflict. Meloni wants to stop acting like a US subordinate and instead lead a truly sovereign Italy, asserting her nation's independent political identity. France 24 report, but this independence carries a heavy price. If US-Italy ties keep breaking, the resulting instability means Europe will likely fracture further. The relationship between Donald Trump and Giorgia Meloni, once rooted in shared nationalistic rhetoric, is now unraveling. Geopolitics is entering a volatile, unstable period. This shift threatens to transform once close diplomatic ties into a full-scale transatlantic crisis. Meloni and Trump are drifting apart, which changes everything for global security. This growing diplomatic tension directly threatens NATO's stability and the ongoing conflict in Iran. I'll be tracking these updates as they happen. Subscribe and turn on notifications to keep up with changes in global politics. What's your take? Is Meloni right to support the Pope, or is this a massive blunder? Write your thoughts in the comments below.